Welcome back to Where Black Cats Walk. This week we are reviewing the Millwall game and what should we be saying about Milan Alexic's miss and who's at fault for the Millwall goal. We're also looking at Christmas fixtures and which Sunderland players are out of contract in the summer and work needs to be done. And of course, it's FA Cup third round draw next week. So we're asking our team here, what is your dream third round tie? We have got some additional contributors to our team this week. We're delighted to welcome Ridders, who speaks on the Speak Sunderland podcast. Welcome, Ridders. We've also got Charlie and Jamie, who are huge on Sunderland social media, alongside obviously our regulars, Leo and Dylan. So let's get straight into it then. Dylan, who's at fault for the Millwall goal?
I don't know. Looking back at the replay, 09's very, very far out of position, but he always does tend to surge forward, especially when we're on the attack. I don't know. It was a well executed counter as well, but if you had to blame someone, you've probably got to give 09 a bit of stick because of how far he was up, sort of left a gap that we didn't manage to plug. But a lot of players sort of failed to track the runner, and that it was just a bit of a cluster, you know what, there all around.
Yeah, the four players around that didn't track that runner. Charlie, I wonder if you agree with what David had to say here. He says, I know people will talk about the Aleksic obviously has to score, but pinning it all on that is ignoring the theme that's creeping more and more into our game. When we're winning at half time, we come out not wanting to play. It won't work over a full season, in my opinion. Do you agree with what he's saying there?
Partially. I do agree in general, but I thought against Millwall that I didn't really have a choice. Because in that second half, obviously, it was already a shoestring team. They were playing against the wind, which was the big problem. Like, we couldn't get out, because if we went to just hoof it out, it was going straight through the keeper, catching the wind, which I hate. I hate the fact that I'm using the wind, but they could just lump it up and it would hold. And they were onto it straight away. We didn't really have much of a choice. I didn't see the Coventry game. I was away, so I don't know how it happened in the second half. I don't really want to know, to be honest. But so, like, in general, if that does keep happening, then yeah, but they were pretty solid overall, I thought, so I don't mind it. If it does end up, if it comes through and they end up grinding out wins, I don't mind it, but it could end up being a problem, I think.
Okay. Jamie, at the risk of sounding like one of those overreactionary Sunderland fans, 4 draws in a row with 3 of them being away from home isn't a complete disaster for a regular team. But is it a disaster if you want to go up?
I think with the expectations that the early start of the season brought, we would have expected to win one of those games away from home. Without being able to turn 1 point into 3 in any of those occasions, it kind of puts more and more pressure on the next game. That's 4 now without a win, or is it 4 undefeated? It depends which way you want to look at it. But it makes Tuesday night a big game, and back at the stadium we need 3 points to kind of keep that push moving forward.
Absolutely. Leo, we'll ask you straight on this one. This was the view from Terence. I thought Oleksic looked a good player yesterday. There, I've said it. There's lots of mixed views on his performance, especially the big miss. What was your view of him?
My view of him was that he didn't really seem bothered when he was playing. I could see some of the stuff he was trying and some of the stuff he was trying to pull off, and it just didn't seem like it was happening for him, especially in the chance. I said it in the episode a few weeks ago after the last game, whether I didn't know whether he'd bring him into the team or not, purely because he's got 0 minutes up until this point. But he's came on, he's looked decent, and it just wasn't really dropping for him. And I think throughout, I think it was like the 20-30 minute spell he got, he kind of seemed to drop in energy just constantly through the game, and that's probably why he hasn't took his chance in the last minute.
Richard, when you forwards through on goal like that, and he hits it straight at the keeper, you can't blame fans for doubting someone's either ability or their mental capability in those positions. Can they? Fans are right here to have a go.
Yeah, I think so. Can you hear me now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, got you now. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yes, it's I think for me it's a massively frustrating one. You know, I don't necessarily blame him. I think he's a young kid in a new country. I think that does play a part, even though we'd think it doesn't. And you know, you see those shots all the time. I've watched the 2 games today, and we've seen shots like that from sort of Haaland and Rashford and those types of players. So those things do happen. I think obviously it is frustrating. We weren't as clinical as we'd like, and you know, the frustrating thing is after that is, can we not take a foul? You know, there's probably 5 or 6 times we could do that, and we don't. I think that's the frustrating thing. And like Dylan was saying, we're pretty solid most of the game on a well-changed team. And it is a bit of a sucker punch and a little bit naivety, I think, from the team. But we're a young team. You have to expect that.
Cheers for that, Ridders. Dylan, one on Mayenda. Ethan says a Mayenda on the wing yesterday was tremendous. Criminal if they drop him on Tuesday. Do you agree?
Well, the odd bits that I've seen from the highlights, I thought he looked all right. I mean, it always made sense to me to have him starting on the right with Robert being out, because obviously he's a left footer, he's quick, he's agile. So stylistically, it's sort of going to be pretty similar to what we've been doing. We can have him cutting in and just taking players on. But yeah, he had an impressive start of the season before he got that injury, and I think now is his opportunity to sort of find a way to get back into the side. He's not really going to get back in up front as long as Wilson Eastoe keeps putting in decent performances. I wouldn't be opposed to starting him again on Tuesday on the right wing, because whilst Roberts is one of our better players on his day, other than the first couple of games of the season, he sort of fell off to sort of where he was at last season again, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be giving Mayenda another chance to impress on the right.
Okay. Charlie, we're recording this before the West Brom game, so we don't know how that's gone. But presumably Job obviously comes straight back in to that team. What are the changes would you make though for Tuesday night?
I think Hume's got to come back in, and then 09 to go in the middle, probably for Ballard, which would probably be harsh to be fair, because he had a decent game, but Mepham and 09 have just been that good so far this year, and Hume's just our best right back easily, I think. Then, like as you say, Joe will come straight in the midfield, and then I think it probably just is a toss-up between Mayenda and Roberts, or Watson maybe, if they want to throw one of them out on the left. I don't know, but I think Roberts will come back in mainly because Mayenda played the full 90, but it would be harsh on him still, to be fair, because he did have a very good game. I was quite surprised with him out there.
All right, Leo, one final point on the Millwall game then, before we move on. East London says, we're missing 7 first-team players, literally playing children, one of whom making his first appearance in English football, and we're still top of the table. Well, that was obviously before Leeds went and grabbed that winner at Swansea.
Yeah.
Psychologically, is it better to be chased down by the pack or to chase the position number 1?
It's much better to just be in that number 1 spot. I mean, if you're top of the league, no other team, the other 23 teams' results don't matter as long as you win your games. And I think it's just that simple. You know, we did it in League One when we were pushing for automatics nearly every season, or in our first season in the Championship, looking at every result, looking at every team, thinking, oh, if they drop points, we just need to win our games and make sure that it's without a question who the best team in the league is.
Okay. All right, then. Before we move on from that Millwall game, obviously we wish the people in the crowd that fell ill a speedy recovery, and hope, obviously, all our wishes go with them. Crazy game, wasn't it? And especially in terms of the weather and the stoppages. But we send all our wishes to those fans. Okay, then we're also looking ahead now at the Christmas fixtures. Jamie, if I could get your view on this one. 8 games. In the next 30 odd games, this is going to test the squad massively. Yep. Do you think you've got the squad enough to cope with not just the amount of games, but the number of fixtures the type of fixtures you've got here? I notice you've got fixtures against some very physical sides coming up.
Yeah, I think yesterday gives us all that confidence now that we might have a deeper squad than we maybe all thought. We've put some players in there yesterday who we all probably had doubts if they'd be good enough, ready enough to go to Millwall away on a horrible Saturday afternoon, but they've put a performance in and they've proved that they are ready when needed. We've also still got Samid and Abdullahi to come and join the squad when they reach full fitness. And if we can keep our big players, Dennis Serkin keeps fit, our kind of like really big players, Job and Wilson up top, we're going to have a chance. I think we're the same as every Championship side. If we lose 2 or 3 big players, we will struggle. But I think our squad depth now, I think it gives us more confidence moving forward after yesterday than maybe we thought kind of Saturday morning.
Yeah, brilliant. I was the Everton-Brentford game as Everton fan, and we were talking about the Championship, and I think Sunderland is everyone neutral's favourite to go up from this league. So you've definitely got, apart from one team, obviously in the Premier League, I definitely think you've got the rest of the Premier League hoping that you do it. What about this strange fixture arrangement, Ridders? If we look again here, that you play Sheffield United obviously this Friday and on New Year's Day, and then you've got this weird double header against Stoke, where you see them twice in 3 weeks. Do you think does it give some teams an advantage or disadvantage depending on which how that lands, or does it not matter?
No, I don't think it matters. You've got to play everyone twice, I think. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd like to get Sheffield United out of the way, and see where we are in both games. Obviously, the Stoke game, when Alex Neil was there, used to come and sort of hump us, and thank God that's not a thing anymore. So ideally, we're looking at good results against them. But yeah, to get the Sheffield United ones out of the way, I think is a good thing. We don't want to be playing them towards the end. If we are hopefully there or thereabouts towards the end, that'll be much better for us, I think.
Okay, brilliant. All right, then we're talking about players out of contract in the summer next. Dylan, who needs very quickly to have offers on the table for you?
Who's even out of contract? Well, first of all, I'll just say get permanent sorted out for Isidore and Mepham, ideally. I know obviously we've got the option on Wilson. If we can get something sorted for Mepham, that would be ideal. I know Huggins is extended already. Is anybody even out of contract who's of any importance?
I don't think there is, to be honest. None of the kind of the big names that you would you'd really kind of want to pin down. But I think we're in a good shape.
I think the problem more would be the people who've got a year left on the deal coming this summer. I think Dan Neil still hasn't extended yet, and a couple of others. So that would be priority, sort of nailing down the players who've got 1, maybe 2 years left come this summer. I think Serkin might be another one. I'm not sure if he's extended. But yeah, main priority should just be sorting out permanence for the two loan players who've done well for us so far.
Yeah, Wilson's heading to cult status nearly, isn't he? With Sunderland fans. All right, cheers for that one. Just to finish off with, for all of you, then it is FA Cup third round draw next weekend. So I'm going to put you all in charge of that draw and ask you to pull out your dream fixture. Charlie, would you kick this one off for us? Home or away against any team that is left in there?
Anyone but Newcastle, to be honest. I cannot be asked for that again. Even though I think it will probably go a lot better this time. Last time was just possibly the worst game I think I've ever seen us play. It was so bad that day. I don't know if I can be bothered with it again.
Well, that got Michael Beale football, wasn't it? You can't.
Yeah, big time. I wouldn't mind one of the big teams away just for the day of it. But I remember when we got Arsenal away in the Carabao Cup a few years ago, I went down, that was a good laugh. So I wouldn't mind one of them. But I'm not really too fussed because I don't really want a cup run this year. I'd prefer if we just focused on the league. That's
my next point. You really all don't care about the FA Cup, do you? Jamie, what about you?
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. FA Cups are kind of a small concern for me really this season. I think anybody, anywhere, let's just go and play the game. And if I had to choose, I maybe say Tottenham, have a nice trip to their stadium, but anyone you want.
Okay, Leo?
I'll just go a game against the Mags purely just for the 3 hours before kickoff. Once the game starts, I'm not really that bothered, but that 3 hours before kickoff, that's all I want.
Dylan?
I'll have Forest away because one of my mates in the uni is a Forest fan, so I'll have a pint with him before the match.
All right, okay. This ambivalence towards the FA Cup is just it's brilliant in one way that you really all don't care about it. Ridders?
I'm going to go against Charlie. I think we should go for Newcastle away. Then that negates all the stuff at our stadium. Go there, beat them. They haven't beaten us at their place for years and years and years. I can't even remember. So yeah, I'll take that, and then be in the next round and get knocked out, and then get promoted. That'll be ideal.
All right, brilliant. Okay, let us know your thoughts about who you want, but none of you will care, will you? You'll even be watching it. Right, okay, good luck then this week against West Brom, and we'll all be watching you live on Friday on Sky Sports as you go to Sheffield United, which should be a good game, shouldn't it, Dylan? It's not going to be a cagey 0-0.
No, I imagine it'll be quite a good game. Unfortunately, I'm tipped my mum to a concert for a birthday present, so I've really put my foot in it there, haven't I? So I'll not be watching it, but hopefully in my absence we can get the win.
All right, okay. Good stuff. Right, if you haven't yet followed us, please do so. You can obviously see all these guys on social media. We'll put all their links to their channels and the Speak Sunderland podcast. I'm sure you all listen to that anyway. Do check that out if you haven't done already. And we'll see you all next week in 7 days' time to review it all over again. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Ridders. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Cheers.